Welcome to Overcomers Connects. If you are tuning in for the first time, my name is A.B. Ambek. I'm a therapist, clinical social worker, and someone deeply committed to bridging emotional and generational divides with honesty, empathy, and healing. In our last episode, we explored why children go silent, and today we are stepping into the other side of the story. Today's episode is titled, What Parents Wish You Knew About Their Pain. Oh, yes. Because behind every silence is a wound, and behind every wound is a history. Estranged parents often live in a silent kind of grief. Oh, yes. Where there are no ceremonies for it, okay? It's a grief that whispers, did I fail? Where did I go wrong with this child? What have I done to deserve the treatment I am getting from my child? What is it that I didn't do that is causing these estrangements? It asks questions in the dark, in secret that no one can answer. Why won't my child speak to me? Did I do something wrong? Did what I did, is it that bad? To deserve this wickedness and psychological torture I am getting from my children? Do they really know how much I miss them? And the silence just hurts deeply. Oh yes, it does. Parents grieve milestones they are not part of. They check their phones on a daily basis, minute by minute, seconds by second, hoping for a message from their estranged children. They scroll through old photos, wondering where things changed. For some, it feels like rejection. Oh yes. But for others, it feels like betrayal. But for almost all, it feels unbearable and unbelievably shocking. Oh yes. Many parents make mistakes. Oh yes. Some deeply painful ones. Okay? But most parents were also doing the best they knew how to, with what they were given and taught. You cannot give what you don't have or what you don't know. Okay? Remember, we are all a victim of another victim, fellows. And you can only give what you have, like I said. You can't give what you don't have or what you don't know. So most parents did what they could or what they know how to do best. They raised children while carrying their own unresolved, complex, and multifaceted trauma, as you would imagine. Just sitting down and thinking of how life was before your own time and generation. Life wasn't easy for your parents. It's a different era. It's a different generation. Some of the things you are talking about today, your parents don't know about them because it was not part of their own growing up. Okay? Parents were often taught to prioritize discipline over dialogue. They didn't have therapy, language, or knew what that looked like or sounded like in their own time. They had survival tools, and life was tough. Okay? They didn't always say, I love you. But they showed up. Yes. Worked 2 jobs. They cooked, cleaned, prayed for you. And especially for immigrant parents in particular, the hustle and trauma were real. Excruciating as they navigated a new country with children to provide for all at the same time. So it wasn't easy. And so, fellas, when a child walks away, it can feel like the whole world, the whole life effort is being erased, is being crushed, and parents become heartbroken. Oh yes. So, you see, in my work with parents, here's what I hear most often from parents. One, I did not know I hurt my child like that. I wish I had the tools back then that I have now. I love you, even if I didn't always say it right. Excuse me. I am scared. I have never got the chance to make things right. These are all concerns of parents that I hear. Things they would have wished to tell their children. There's often guilt, lots of guilt, but also confusion. Because for many parents, they simply didn't know another way. Like I said before, they gave their best, what they thought was right, what they themselves were taught in their own time. So what parents need, or what they needed, was help, not hatred or psychological warfare. No, my dear. You are a cycle breaker. And as much is now your responsibility to teach and show your parents that there is another way of loving, there's another way of parenting. Because things you are taking to be an offense now, in our time, in your parents' time, it wasn't an offense, it was a mode of life. What parents long for is another chance and not perfection. Believe it or not, most parents also like a lot of stuff in this generation. Yes, they do. They wish they had it in their time. They are now coming to the realization that they themselves were chronically abused and denied almost their existence while growing up back in the day. Some parents are beginning to see the difference. Just going through challenges, estrangement with their adult children, they are beginning to see that life is different. Some of the things they tolerated, some of the things they took for granted, they beard their children are now labeling everything to be abused. So parents are beginning to see from a different perspective too. Some parents are beginning to experience self-expression and freedom for the first time in their life. Yes. So sometimes a little patience, a little consideration and understanding is required to help parents understand the new age and to adjust to fit it to the best of their ability. Okay? To the best of their ability. So now, let's hold space for the parents. Because truthfully, many parents are in silent agony. Oh, yes. They say, I wasn't perfect, but I did my best. I sacrificed so much, and how is that forgotten? I only wanted the best for them. I wish they told me how they felt instead of just leaving and abandoning me. I thought I was giving them all. I was sacrificing my whole life for them. I didn't know they felt this way. All of a sudden, they all abandoned me. Many parents were raised in a culture where emotions were not spoken. Therapy was a taboo. And love meant discipline, sacrifice, and protection. They didn't always have the emotional literacy their children now expect and feel punished for. In ways parents, they don't even understand. They are trying to fathom where they have gone wrong. It is possible for a parent to have caused harm unknowingly, okay? And to still love their children deeply. And it is possible for a child to feel hurt and still long for closeness and misses their parents. Oh yes. One thing does not cancel the other. Not at all. Estrangement is not always about lack of love, fellows. No. It's often about the lack of repair, the lack of tools, lack of safety, and the lack of understanding each other's needs. Parents also often say, why didn't they just tell me what I did wrong? But for many children, they did. Just not in the language the parents understood. They acted out. They cried. They withdrew. They got quiet. And sometimes parents were too overwhelmed themselves to hear what wasn't said out loud. Especially for those parents who mainly were just surviving as they try to provide for their family. Oh yes. So now, what can parents do now? Yeah. Here are a few starting points many adult children need to see. Okay? Number one, ownership. Parents need to own their own part in the estrangement. It is not always about the children. You as a parent, you need to own your own part in this estrangement. And number two, parents must understand that defensiveness will not help the situation. Saying something like, I didn't mean to, or it is different from how I grew up and now I understand how that impacted you, will be a starting point. Oh yes. Parents need to show sign of curiosity and not control by asking the children or saying things like, please help me to understand what you needed back then instead of why are you blaming me for everything? Okay? Number four, parents need to show compassion for the child you didn't fully see when growing up. Their pain isn't to punish you. It is to be understood. They want to be understood. Number five, parents need to show willingness to change even if your intention was love. Even if your intention was growth. or even if growth means learning a new expression of it. And above all, my lovelies, be patient. Because if it took years to rupture, it may take some time to rebuild. So, dearest estranged adult children, before you label your parents, ask what they were trying to protect. Before you disappear on them and abandon them, ask if there's something you still need to say. And before you assume they don't care, why don't you see the love they have for you? Okay? And to every parent listening, your pain is real. Your love matters. Your willingness to grow speaks volume. Again, this series is not about blame. It's about bridge building. Sometimes the bridge is built slowly, with trembling hands, but every step counts. Okay? In our next episode, we'll talk about repairing the bridge. Starting points for reconstruction, for reconnection. Okay? Because reconciliation isn't magic. It is a movement. Bit by bit, step by step. And we will explore what that first movement can look like for both sides. So fellows, until then, breathe, reflect, and know that even now, there is hope. Okay?